Did you record?
No, not yet.
Omar, we need you.
Get out of here. Omar's gone. You got it's me now.
Go ahead and say it. I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain now. I'm the captain now. Waiting for Omar to do some technical difficulties.
Yeah, I was listening. I was like laughing by myself while like fixing the backdrop.
I'm the captain now. There he is. Do you have a headband on?
No, it's a hat. You know I'm old because I'm wearing my hat backwards.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Take off the hat, man.
You do know you're going to be on the internet in front of people, right?
Omar's about to be a meme in like 3 seconds.
Oh my God.
You know what? I'm repping the early millennials. No shame.
When your dad starts a podcast.
Bro, you're like 8 years older than both of us.
And yet I'm still cooler than the both of y'all.
I mean, he's cooling you with that hat. I'll tell you that right now.
Nicholas's daughter told him that.
I mean, okay. Are we ready?
Of course, my daughter.
Are we ready, guys? Are we ready to go?
Yes, let's do it.
Seeing us, they're live cutting up. So, Omar, are you keeping the hat, Omar? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
of course I'm keeping the hat.
Targeted podcast. This is a targeted podcast. This is Sahid, Nicholas, Omar with the hat. That just made it worse. So yeah.
Putting my do-rag back on.
Oh my God. Oh, this is a mess right now. Yeah. So
Omar, no shame. No shame. Yes, I still wear hats backwards.
I respect you a little bit. Not really. So
that do-rag gave you so many ways, man. I can tell.
Yeah. No. So yeah. See, Nicholas there already got the weekend started early.
It's been a long week.
Yeah, again, welcome to the Targeted Podcast. This is episode 14. So let's get started. We got a couple topics to go through today. Some super serious topics. And we finally get to talk about Wandavision. So we're going to talk about the failed conviction of the previous president.
Cowards.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
And his supporter that got fired. And then we'll have some fun with like WandaVision. So yeah, we'll get the serious stuff out the way first. So as we know, last week, former President Donald Trump was acquitted of starting a freaking riot. And I mean, I think I shared this with like a lot of other people, just frustrated. I held a slimmer of hope that both conservatives and Democrats can come together and just reject terrorism, essentially, right? And that didn't happen because there are only 47 cowards in the Senate that are Republicans. Like I think what was it, like 10 Republicans like voted to
it was like 10.
Trump? Yeah, and everyone else
7 or 10.
Yeah. And then everyone else like made up some BS reasoning to not convict Trump. So for example, Mitch McConnell, who says who forced the trial back 2 weeks because like Trump wanted Trump to have the time to defend. And then in his reasoning for not convicting Trump says, well, you can't convict him. It's unconstitutional because his presidency is done. Which typical fashion. So you back the trial up and then you say, well, it's unconstitutional, presidency's done.
Yeah.
It's a mess. And just reading some of the comments for like just people saying, I know we don't want to really talk about politics. I swear I'm going to try to keep this short so we can move on to more fun and enjoyable things. But I share a lot of people's frustration with the government. And yeah, I had conversations with a couple of my friends that talked about, oh yeah, they should have like held witnesses or whatnot, or yeah, the government just sucks and I have no faith in the system. And I get the frustration. I'm totally frustrated myself, but we have to understand that now is not the time to falsely equivalent and blame the whole government. Like, yeah, we can find wrong in everything, but there's only one problem, and that's the section of the Republican Party that can't stand up to racism or in terrorism, right? So this could have been our moment, right? Where, like, remember after 9/11, where people were attacking someone attacked our freedoms, right? And we went to war, where someone actually attacked our freedoms on January 6th, and they did nothing about it. And we had the opportunity to stand together, and
Well said.
a group of people like decided just to make some BS up about it. So I'm frustrated. I'm mad. I know a lot of other people are mad too, but we have to understand where the problems are. This is not a time to say there's bad on both sides. It's not a time to say they're both corrupt. Yeah, that could be true, but you're comparing a jaywalker to a murderer, essentially, right? So that's the false equivalency that's going on. Hopefully, yeah. I don't know. Nicholas,
here's my thing. here's my thing.
Yeah.
This is where I had an issue. If I got convicted of a crime today,
mm-hmm.
I will not have a choice about whether or not I have to appear in court. And everyone, well, I don't say everyone, but they will call everyone possible as a witness to try to convict me and send me to jail.
Yep.
So right from the beginning, when I'm reading about the trial and I'm seeing like, oh, we held a vote and we decided not to call any witnesses or not to call any more witnesses or what have you.
Mm.
I mean, right then and there, I was like, okay, it's over. It's going to be acquitted. And then it's like, oh, he has the option to not appear in court. So the whole thing was a joke from the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's just, I can like losing faith in the government right there, like, or at least in the process starts right there, right?
Mm.
When people, when you have the evidence against someone, you know they committed a crime. Mm-hmm. And they have these processes in place where they don't have to call witnesses who have the evidence to convict them. They don't have to appear in court. Mm-hmm. It just reeks of privilege, and it's ridiculous. And then you have the fact that, the Republicans try to turn it into this partisan thing where they're like, hey, it's just a witch hunt for Donald Trump. No, that's not what it is at all. The man committed a crime. He did wrong. And
we saw the tape. We saw it.
Yeah, but when you have a group of people who are unwilling to do right simply because they want to be reelected, or they don't want to upset the party.
Yeah,
that's cowardice.
Yeah,
that's all it is. Straight up cowardice.
It is.
That's all I have to say. I mean, they're just a bunch of cowards who are wanting to get reelected. Mitch McConnell? He's like 1,000 years old. They're all like 1,000 years old. They need to be out anyway. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. No, like Chief Simp, like Ted Cruz today, who by the way went to Cancun to escape like the winter storm in Texas that they kind of helped cause because they didn't like treat Texas infrastructure properly. So yeah, he had Donald Trump like make fun of his family and so many things, and this guy is caught defending him, caught like campaigning for him, and it's just a joke that he'll defend him when he's so clearly obviously guilty of this. We all saw the tape. Nicholas, a couple of your points. One of them, so keep in mind about the Hillary Clinton trials, right? When she was Secretary of State, how many trials, how many investigations kind of went into, and she stood trial, right? She stood in front of Congress. This is something that Donald Trump could not do, right? So as you said, it reeks of privilege. It's frustrating. It's annoying. We need to.
And then you have the rumors. I guess the rumors. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Man's talking about I might run in 2024.
Yeah.
So
he's already making.
He did all this wrong.
Yeah.
He did all this wrong for 4 years. And now there's a possibility that he'll be president again, only in America.
Yes. I mean, it's
almost laughable.
It's laughable if it wasn't sad at the same time. it's again, they had the power. They're so scared of their Sims. They cannot tell their constituents. They cannot tell them the truth, right? Fox News hired like one of their producers who called Arizona for Joe Biden. The correct call, right? He made the correct call, and he fired him for making the correct call because it upset their viewers, right? So they go to Newsmax, so they want to be lied to instead of addressing and fixing the problems that they have. They kind of just want to live in this fictitious like reality of, oh, he won the election, which by the way he's making the media rounds saying that already, that like he won the election and whatnot. And it's just,
I mean, just for me, the fact that he was calling governors and threatening them and having those conversations like that, to me, that's an impeachable offense as well. I mean, things like that should get you kicked out of office. You don't do that. You lose, you lose. That's it. That's what we're built on. That's democracy.
He was already he's actually being investigated in Georgia for that now, right? But yeah, that actually is another impeachable offense, which conservatives would have let go anyway. Just keep in mind too, his last impeachment trial where the Republicans were in charge, same thing, right? No witnesses, right? House called witnesses. Republican Senate did not call witnesses, and we might run it back in 4 years.
Well, so from what I do understand though, there is a civil suit being brought against him.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, as much as it pains me to not see this go through the way it should have, it's definitely not over. I mean, they call it the long arm of the law for a reason, right? I mean, it's not going to work the way you want it to as far as time is concerned, but at some point, I mean, if you did it wrong, you're going to get fast.
Yeah, I read a political scientist. I think he's being a little bit optimistic, but he said that Donald Trump's going to disappear because he's going through so much litigation, right? There's just so much litigation. A lot of people are after him.
Glad to see it.
We'll see how it works, right? There were people willing to pay $2 million to his like false campaigns of like stop the steal or whatever, right? And a lot of those guys are trying to get their money back. So like one guy's like in North Carolina or South Carolina, one of the Carolinas, like was trying to get his money back because he paid $2 million for an investigation that actually went to his like defense campaign. So yeah, it's frustrating. I think we talked about this topic enough. We can move on to the next topic, which is one of his Trump simps, Gina Carrano. So as we know, Gina Carrano got fired from like The Mandalorian, and we've talked about The Mandalorian on the show a few times. Great show, an amazing show. Fun fact about her is that she got fired. The way she found out about how she was fired was on social media.
I saw that article.
Which is kind of poetic justice because she's supposed to be making all these like just claims on social media. I'm going to read you just a couple of things that was said. And they don't come off as just blatant, but at the same time, like these are things like you give someone an inch to just keep going, right? So
I assume you're going to read some of the posts that she made.
Yeah, she made one of the posts about not supporting Black Lives Matter and saying, in my experience, screaming at someone that they are racist when they're indeed not a racist. Any post or research you do will show that those exact facts. Then I'm sorry, these people are not educators; they're cowards and bullies, right? She also made a comment about like anti-transgender stuff.
What did she say about the Holocaust?
I'm gonna read the Holocaust one. So I actually have that one up. And oh, look at Serena! Hey,
special guest.
Actually, keep her on. Go with that hat, please. Yeah. So she's made just a handful of just disparaging remarks. I'm gonna read the Holocaust one. So I'm just reading what she said, right? Obviously,
right.
Not anyone's beliefs. So, according to her post, she posted, Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply by being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? And yeah, exactly, Omar. There you go. That's that's the response for that. Look, I don't know about you guys, but I learned about World War II in history in high school. They teach you more than actually Black history, by the way. But
They teach everything more
how
than
it
Black
happened,
history.
huh?
They teach everything more than Black history.
Yeah, it's true.
That's
Yes.
the subject for another day.
Yeah, yeah. That's not how it happened, right? This is a false narrative, and this is her trying to use what happened in World War II and just the atrocities that happened during that time to try to like validify her arguments, which is annoying and racist and ignorant and part of the false information that's been going around in this country. And I am happy she got fired. The only reason why I'm upset about this is that it just took him so long to get to fire her. Right, this was bound to happen. She's been saying just atrocious after atrocious things, saying things about the election, saying that it was rigged, just promoting that lie, right? And it lead to like the January 6th insurrection. She got fired. Good riddance. Of course, conservative like host Ben Shapiro like hired her to like do a movie. So there's that.
Of course. Look after your own.
Yeah, saying, "Oh, you can't."
So I'm trying not to say anything, even about the last topic, right? Because we talked about this before.
Yeah.
I have a lot of emotions bottled up about it. I'm afraid to let them out.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating, mildly put. But I have to say something. I mean, we are in a podcast, right?
Yeah.
So, what I think the main thing that bothers me that's behind all of this is white people need to freaking stop thinking they're victims. I'm sick and tired of hearing it.
Yes.
I grew up in a white neighborhood in New Jersey. All right. I was like one of like maybe 2 or 3 brown kids. I was born in Jersey. I was raised here. I'm 36 years old. I still today in the back of my head sometimes feel like I'm not American enough is because I was raised in a white neighborhood and I got picked on just for being different. I mean, that happens everywhere around the world, right? Mm-hmm. You're a kid, you go to school, the Japanese have a saying, the tree that sticks, the tallest tree in the forest, right, is the one that gets cut down first, right? That's a true thing. So that's not necessarily racism at that point. But as I got older, I started realizing that it was anyone that wasn't white, that wasn't the majority in the US. I'm talking about the US. I'm not talking about Canada. I'm not talking about Australia, anywhere else. I'm talking about the US. Is that they're the ones that get made fun of. Every single group in this in this country, every single like a foreign group, even the Irish and anyone that wasn't American, they have had to experience racism. So I'm sick and tired of hearing white Americans say that they're all of a sudden experiencing, prejudice and racism. Like, shut the, up. I mean, I'm so sick and tired of hearing this. I grew up, my life has almost been defined by dealing with racism, and I'm not even Black.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating, right? We've had to deal with it mostly since 9/11, right? It really started in the original Twin Tower attacks in like the early 90s, early mid 90s or something. But it wasn't until 9/11 where people really knew, what Pakistan was or what Afghanistan was, or, what continent they were even in, things like that. So, I mean, it's frustrating, when we talk about things like this and, these, celebrities, these people, who we looked up to in the past, and all of a sudden they're making these really ignorant remarks. So frustrated. I agree with Nicholas, and, it's long overdue.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of growing up too, where like when 9/11 happened, me being Black, once they found out my name is Saheed, I went by like Wale down south, just so I can kind of get rid of like any like little underlying issues a lot. I mean, I had to defend myself a lot against people thinking either I was Nation of Islam, thinking that like every time they found out I was a Muslim, right? There had to be something. There was like that awkward pause, and then like, okay, what are your questions? Like I know you have questions. Like how do you want me to? What do you need to know, right? And it's frustrating because they don't have to go through this, right? This is kind of why I hate it, and I've made this comment with you guys. Unless you're a comedian, like I don't want you to whine about cancel culture. I'm sorry. Like unless you're an actual comedian, because they live by different rules, right?
Yeah.
And the reason being is maybe it's a problem, maybe, but it's not nearly as big as a problem as racism is. It's not nearly as big as a problem as like people like Gina Carrano who want to play victim, right? When they're not the victim. So yeah, that's what I got to say about that. Yeah.
So here's my thing, real quick. So this is why as a parent, it's going to be very important. I feel like it's very important for me to have some sort of education, my own educational curriculum for my children, right? Because if you just look at these posts like this and go by these posts and start believing these posts, they'll have you believing all sorts of things, have you believing the wrong things. And so it really takes someone who is willing to take the time to go back and research and really look into these things.
Yeah.
I understand that some people feel that they're suddenly not allowed to voice their opinions anymore. But you also have to understand that this is the social media age. This is the information age. And as a regular person like I am, I can't just go on social media and start saying all this inflammatory stuff and then go out for a job interview and think that they're not going to look me up, because they will. And when they see that you're saying these types of things, you're done. And the same rules apply to you if you're a celebrity or whatever. Like, you're done. This whole cancel culture thing, they're trying to use that for celebrities, like, oh, I got canceled, I'm being shut up. But for normal people who go out there and put something out there online or whatever, they've been getting canceled forever. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't feel sorry for her. You know what I mean? Your opinion is your opinion. I get that. Mm-hmm. But don't think that you can just post that stuff up there and people are going to think that it's okay. You're still an employee of Disney. And if your beliefs aren't in alignment with your employer or, whoever's paying you, whatever, then they have the right to get rid of you. That's it.
Yeah.
You could say all the crazy crap that you want to.
Two things really quick. First one, just hearing you speak, Nicholas, I kind of thought of something as you were talking that, number one, I want to point out when I was talking about like, white Americans playing victim, I have a lot of white American friends. And I want everyone to know that's watching this, that if you are my friend, this doesn't include you. All right. I'm talking about the people that are completely ignorant, the people that are completely blind. And you know what, if you feel like the shoe fits for you, and I didn't know that, then feel free to keep that shoe on. But the second thing just ran off my mind.
No, I hear you. Yeah,
a lot of emotion in the room tonight.
Yeah. No, I grew up as a.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry to cut you off. I remember. I'm gonna forget. We live in a society today where if the old Hitler was alive today, we would have the same Republican Party. It wouldn't be the Democrats. Yeah. It would be the Republican, the conservatives that would be, trying to protect him and talking about, well, the left is this cancel culture in the left, and we need to have, rights. People need to respect our opinions. And that's what they don't understand. I'm not a fan of far left-wing people either, right? But the entire Republican Party has literally been hijacked by the ultra far right conservatives. And it's disgusting. It's scary. We don't want that in this country. It doesn't have a place here anymore. So that was my piece.
Yeah. No, well said. I was gonna say, look, I've been a software engineer for many years, so as you can imagine, I have a lot of white coworkers.
Still a junior.
Screw you.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
I ran into that one. So I'll give him that. But yeah, I also live in like, you know, an affluent area
Dorm.
in Northern Virginia. So
Yeah,
Georgetown
you.
University.
For anyone that doesn't know, Saheed's he's, even though he looks like he's living in a dorm, he's actually in like an incredibly bougie area.
screw you. I mean, my concierge service didn't work today. I mean, just oh god, just first world problems. So yeah, but yeah, obviously a lot of white friends, a lot of white colleagues, and I think I've told you guys, I've definitely had to like separate myself from a few of them because like I need the people that around me to be able to talk about issues like this, right? And not say the idiotic things like reverse racism, right? Which isn't a thing. It's never a thing.
No,
It's just them trying to play victim again. But yeah, no, so to all my friends that I can talk to about this, who aren't afraid who understand the racial divide that's in this country, who understand that Black Lives Matter, who reject racism, by the way. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I don't really have much to say after that. Nicholas, I don't know if you have anything if you want to add.
Nope. Moving on to WandaVision.
Finally. Okay. All right,
I
so we
even
got
wore,
through
I
the
even
meat of the
wore like a
bones stuff.
Marvel, based
Oh, nice.
hoodie for today's for this part of the episode, man. I'm just tired of all the BS, honestly, man. Let's
Yes,
get
no.
to the good stuff.
Yeah, let's talk WandaVision. So let me tell you, I was on this show. I mean, I wasn't like super like intrigued with it, but I was like, well, I wasn't super intrigued, but I was fairly intrigued like for the first couple episodes, even though a lot of people weren't on that. Like I'm sure like Nicholas, yeah, there you go.
I didn't care until what was it? When we started seeing something else, episode 3, 4.
Yeah,
I didn't care
I think it was
episode 3 or
episode 4
4.
where it just finally like just came together. As episode 3, they dropped a little bit, and then episode 4 was like, oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people were wondering, like, why am I watching the Dick Van Dyke Show? Why am I watching I Dream of Jeannie right now?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep.
So but yeah, I'm happy it's turned around. I think more people are into it, more people get it. But let me kick this off to you guys. Like, what are your thoughts, like in general, like from the beginning to end, and then we'll start getting into some information that I think I got exclusively that you probably won't see anywhere else.
You did.
But
so I was very happy to see. So I'll put it like this: the first 2 episodes were trash, right? And then the 3rd episode, they dropped a little thing. I was like, huh. And then episode 4, it was like you see the effect of the blip on some other people now, right? And you just got to look. You got to see a little peek of it in game. Where you kind of see how life has gone on for those people who survived. And then, by the end of the movie, like, boom, like everybody's back. Yay. But now you get to see like Monica Rambeau. She was, there with, tending to a loved one. Then all of a sudden it's like, they're gone. Where is she? I can't find her. What the hell is going on? And she goes back to work, and as soon as the guy was like, "Hey, Photon," I was like, "Oh, here we go."
Yeah, I saw that.
Right? Here we go.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I was, as soon as I heard that, like Photon and all that, like I was like, okay. And then they also dropped it. This evidently there's like another engineer or somebody. There's somebody that's trying to get to help. A lot of speculation.
Yes.
I cannot wait. I'm gonna let y'all, we're gonna talk a little bit more about it, but I cannot wait to drop a possible name.
I think so too.
I can't wait.
I'm thinking that that engineer is a female, but she said when like one of her calls, like, "Oh, my guy's coming in," so it might be a guy. I don't know, but Omar, like, what are your thoughts? You're the last one to get on this, so you refused.
You guys, yeah, exactly. You guys were trying to convince me to watch it. And for a couple of weeks, and I was like, nope, not even remotely interested. And as Nicholas pointed out, the whole Dick Van Dyke style. We're on episode 6 now? 5? 5. Or is it 6?
Right?
Yeah, I think it's 6.
I think it's 6.
5, whatever, 5 or 6, right? but I started watching after 4 episodes. The day the 4th episode dropped, that's when I started watching. And
Okay.
I think now in hindsight, I can see it as a really bold move by the directors going that route for the first 2 episodes where it's just, all black and white. I still don't really understand why they did that. They didn't have to. I think they just wanted to be really creative, to do something unique, try to make it a little bit comical. It was weird. I don't know. I don't fully understand it, but either way, you found out, Sahid?
Well, so I'm actually looking up the episodes now, but
Yeah, I figured
that's part of like the mystery. So that's kind of what got me intrigued. Like, why are they doing this, right? Like,
Right.
what's like kind of like a Nolan movie? Like what's really going on here, right? So that's kind of what drove me into this. I'm actually looking up the episodes now. It is episode 6. It looks like. Yep.
Oh, it is already 6. Sorry, so I think it's what, like 8 episodes for the. I think they said for the season. It's 8 or 9. It's one of them.
I think it's 8.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, but either way, Michelle's gone a long way, and now each episode feels like it's literally like it's no different than like their production quality from the movies. I mean, I guess technically it was like that from the beginning, but now you really feel it. And so I actually don't know who Photon is. I actually want to take it as a surprise. I didn't take it as when you guys mentioned it, I didn't look it up. I may have seen her comic cards as I was a kid. I don't know. It's been a long time. But so I'm excited to see, her character evolve. I did like sorry?
No, well, they're heavily implying that she's gonna be Photon. It's like
No, in the
her
last episode
molecules
too.
are changing, is what they said, and like if she goes in once more time,
Her cells are being rewritten.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know why that happens to her, but not no one else though, because a lot of other people are going to be like in and out of that bubble as well. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it works.
So I think the 2 things are going to come out of this series. And I may be jumping the gun. I don't know if you're going to get to this later, but I'm just going to make it really quick. I can expand on it later if we get to this as another topic. But one, I think they're making, I already said in last time we talked about this on the show, is they're creating this multiverse, in my opinion, right? They're bringing the multiverse into Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
Well, into the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, I feel like there's going to be some tie-in with the new Thor movie. Because there's a reason why they brought that random scientist. I forget her name, the actress name.
Oof.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Let me pull her name up now.
The nerdy girl.
Yeah.
I know her name. I don't know,
Darcy Lewis.
Darcy Lewis,
that's
right?
her name.
Oh, I meant her. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking about the name of the actress. But so they're not going to bring back someone that random for no reason, in my opinion. There has to be some tie-in to Thor, and I'm waiting to see what that's going to be.
All right.
That's a good point.
By the way,
I'll
the
give you that.
actress's name is Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings. Yes.
Okay.
But this is why I don't think it's going to tie into the 4th Thor movie. I think a lot of that Thor movie is actually going to take place in space.
Possible.
Omar, already out there with Guardian.
Well, I did see a teaser that Natalie Portman's character is going to become like a she-Thor.
Yes.
Yeah, that happened in the comments.
Yeah. No, so Omar, what this movie will tie into for sure will be the next Doctor Strange movie. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and the next Doctor Strange movie, guess what the name is? Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
No way.
That's the actual name.
Dude, I didn't know that.
So you just hit the point. You were there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the next Doctor Strange movie. So yeah, you're absolutely right. They are bringing the multiverse in. We've been talking about, so the next Spider-Man, it looks like they have the previous 2 Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield will be a part of it as well. So it looks like they have these little multiverse things happening.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. So, but like back to WandaVision. So, should I share like the little?
Go ahead, share it, man.
Things that I
do it.
found out. So I follow Tanoia Paris on Instagram, and Hopefully Disney like doesn't like find me and like lock me up somewhere. 'Cause-
So does the Targeted Podcast IG account at the Targeted Podcast. Follow us on IG.
Follow, subscribe. You're seeing it here first, guys. This is exclusive content. I actually tried posting this on Reddit and they like banned it. So,
Yeah.
So do you ever find out why?
I think it's because of spoilers, but this technically isn't a spoiler, right? It's just
not.
But let me show you. Let me share my screen right quick. So this is actually the banned Reddit post that I have. What screen am I scaring? Do you see my screen?
I don't know, but I'm looking at your tabs before I look at anything else.
God damn.
Oh my gosh.
It is what it is. Let me stop sharing and make sure I'm sharing the right screen. All right. Whatever. You guys get to see my screen.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is embarrassing. I'll show you why I have tabs to some of these celebrities. Those from research earlier, but right.
Yeah. Can you elaborate on the research?
I'll talk about it later. No, so this is actually the Reddit post that I had, right? And it says moderators have removed this post of freeze for a variety of reasons, including community safe, civil, and true to purpose. Didn't say anything wrong, but so Tanoia Paris, who plays Monica Rambeau, posted this on her Instagram, and she deleted it 30 minutes later. So I was kind of like looking at these pictures, and I was like, wait a minute, is this? And I was trying to share it to you guys, and I couldn't, right? So my head goes out, and I was like, oh crap, she probably already deleted this. So I just started taking screenshots. And it shows like just pictures of Monica Rambeau and the sword like emblem, and it shows this right here. Now they showed her already in this costume a little bit earlier, right? It makes me wonder if she's gonna like when she goes in again, she's gonna just come out like a superhero with her powers. Someone also shared this, that Disney's already selling like this outfit as well on the Reddit post. But yeah, like new information right here. You saw it here first. It's more obvious now, but yeah, she's gonna be the next superpowered individual. I think what's his name, her boss, like alluded to that earlier too about like superpowered individuals and how he hates them for some reason. And she's saying that to him. He's saying that to her. So that's more foreshadowing of that happening. So also apparently she doesn't like Captain Marvel for some reason. You guys catch that?
I did not.
Yeah, she doesn't like talking about her. I think. Yeah, so there's something going on there.
Yeah, I think she just feels abandoned, right? Like maybe she's going through cancer, and like Captain Marvel is just out gallivanting around the universe, and like she hasn't come back to say hi or whatever. So,
So let me ask you this: how did you react when you saw her look at Vision and you saw his corpse? What were your first thoughts when you saw it? Like,
when you say who looked at Vision, like, you know, when
Wanda looked at Vision and you saw like his corpse, I was like,
like that split-second flashback.
Yes.
I thought that she actually brought him back to life. So I'm still trying to figure out what exactly is going on in the hex, right?
Yeah.
She did apparently, because I originally thought that it was just like an image of him, like his memory, his consciousness or something that was alive in the hex, right?
Yeah.
But then they said something, I forgot what it was, that she found his body and somehow like managed to make like
bring him back to life.
Bring him back to life. So he's actually alive again somehow.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
So if he's alive, when she looks at him, why does he look dead? So I'm wondering if
I know that's what I'm confused about.
Or
is that
how
something
about this?
just like is that something like from her perspective, like just like a traumatic, like, you know, I still see you, and then it's like, how is she experiencing this? Because sometimes it seems like she's a victim as well. She doesn't quite know what she's doing.
Yeah.
Other times she's fully in control. You know, she threw Monica Rambeau, like, back out of the hex, and
Mhm.
and when somebody pisses her off, like she makes bad things happen to them. So it's a lot of different things going on.
Yeah, so a couple things. So number one, like I'm pretty sure Vision's dead, right? Remember when he tried to walk out the hex, he started falling
Right.
apart,
Yeah.
right? And like he doesn't remember like him being like an Avenger or things like after his death, or he actually doesn't remember things up to a certain point about being an Avenger. So I think the recreation of like from her sadness or whatever, yeah, I think that's the reason. That's why there's just so much like inconsistency there. She doesn't fully control that world, right? Like her brother Pietro coming back, that wasn't like
Right.
controlled by her, right? And that's not actually her Pietro, right? That's
So I wanted to ask about that,
yeah.
and I'll wait for you to finish.
Yeah, so that's not her Pietro, but there are instances where she can't control the world. I think there's a part where she was trying to like snap away a stork or whatever, and the stork just couldn't go away.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that happened a
Well,
couple
I
times
think
actually.
one of the things too is, so it's like the further you get away from her,
Yeah.
because the people who are around her, if you're near her within like a certain radius, they're all like going
Yeah.
about their happy lives. But then as you get further away, like to the edge of the hex, they're kind of just like stuck in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of them are sitting there crying as they go through their little,
Right.
Yeah.
Which is creepy as hell.
Yeah, that was super creepy.
as hell. Yeah.
That tripped me
And
out.
they showed that a few times throughout the show already.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
always thought that was like, it just shows the it really showed the disparity in power between like normal humans and mutants. I thought that was
Oh, yeah.
that was interesting. Almost as if she's like a god.
Yeah.
In that hex, I mean, she pretty much is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude,
no,
But,
yeah, that's a good point.
You know, for all
Well,
intents and purposes, she's like an omega level mutant, I think.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
I mean, we
Yep.
think that this is going off the House of M, like that storyline. I'm not super duper familiar with it. I read a little bit about it. I think what's the devil? The starts with them
Mephisto.
Mephisto. They think that that's the bad guy, and they think the Pietro character is Mephisto.
Yeah. It might
No
be Mephisto.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
What?
that's a fan theory.
So there are clips, little clips where he says certain things.
Yes.
Like there's a clip where he says something to the kids. He's like, something demon spawn. Like those,
Yeah.
Cause trouble demon spawn.
Yeah.
Or the way he looks around when she's talking or before he starts saying certain things. It's like he's of that world, but not, and he kind of knows more. He's aware of the audience.
He's aware of
In
everything.
a way that other people aren't, right?
Yeah.
So he
was asking her about her powers, right? He was like, "Well, how'd you do this?"
Right.
Yeah.
Or did you just throw around those red wiggly things?
Yeah, exactly. Like he was making references about like Vision dying twice or whatever, which technically he did die twice. Like she killed him, then Thanos brought him back to life and killed him again, which is just messed up. So yeah, I think that he's Mephisto. That Agnes, we think that's like Agatha Harkness, I believe, which also had a role to play in that series. I think they coerced her to actually do this is Omar like looking this up, like I don't know any of these names. Look at Omar looking this up.
No, I'm looking up things about Mephisto.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, but I think they coerced her to like make this world, but they can't fully control her. Like to your point, Nicholas, when we're talking about like when you get further and further to the edge of the hex, right? She loses control a little bit, and he was able to like Vision was able to like wake up Agatha, right? And then when he brought her back, she didn't fully like go back into this uncontrolled world. She was able to drive back around, and whatnot. It does seem like some people are kind of aware and ask like Wanda's like, is this okay? Like, is this okay? Is this going to your plot? Do you want me to reshoot this or do this again?
So they're trying to keep her happy.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to keep her happy.
Keep Wanda happy.
Definitely a lot of people are sad. I did hear a fan theory that all these guys might be dead, right? And she's kind of reanimating them like they made it.
So I'm starting to wonder if it's not like a case of extreme trauma that has somehow increased her powers. So
Yeah.
remember, when we meet Wanda, she is a telepath. She can do some telekinetic stuff in Age of Ultron. Still
They didn't
trash.
explain her powers very well. Did you say she's weird? That's
right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So they just say like she's a telepath. She has some telekinetics. You kind of see that in Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
And then now all of a sudden, like, we're on this show, and her powers are like at a 10.
Yeah.
And she can do all these extra things. You know, by the end of the last episode, she's increased the size of the area of the hex.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if
seemingly effortlessly.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
wonder if
wondering
it's effortlessly though. But I mean, next episode comes out tomorrow. But
yeah, it took no effort for her to do that.
Yeah.
Now to keep everybody control, yes. But I'm wondering if this is like a result of some sort of trauma that came about as a result of the events of Infinity War and Endgame and losing Vision. You know, maybe it just made her just, you know, go a little nuts, do whatever she had to do to get Vision back. And now she won't let anybody take Vision to the point where she's, you know, holding an entire city hostage.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's a lot to unpack there.
I wanted to ask the question about Quicksilver. So one thing I'm not clear on is, so the funny thing is, Wanda, Scarlet, which her name, Elizabeth Olsen, right? Yeah. So the guy in Godzilla 2014, we talked about this in the Godzilla episode.
Right? Back to Godzilla, like that has anything to do with the show. Go ahead.
Actually, it does. So who was her husband? She was in Godzilla, and who was her husband?
Oh yeah, that was.
I'm not really thinking about different actors.
But almost right. Almost right. The Marvel Quicksilver, right? The MCU Quicksilver was her husband. Like I forgot his name.
In Godzilla,
he's also.
They made a reference. They made a reference to it.
That matters.
They made a reference to it though. So in the show, she talked about Kick-Ass, right? Did you guys catch that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so she said she mentioned Kick-Ass, right? And the guy who played
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, he played in the movie Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass 1 and Kick-Ass 2.
Yeah.
There was
in Godzilla, Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen were husband and wife. In the Marvel movies, they were brother and sister. Mm-hmm. So Quicksilver, he was in the what was it? I'm mixing MCU and Marvel universe. Is it? I'm mixing them up. But the guy that's
Fox and Disney.
All right, Fox and Disney.
Yeah.
So the Fox version, he was played by the guy who we're seeing right now. So why did they change the actor? So that's what I'm confused about.
I think they're trolling us.
Question.
I think they're trolling us. Like I think it's a bit of a troll job because it's not the actual guy, right?
Yeah.
We think that's Mephisto, to be honest with you. Because you notice how she was asking him questions about like, do you remember this, this, and this? And the guy retorts by, "Oh, you're testing me," and he never answers her question, right? This happened in the latest episode.
Yeah.
When she asked him like probing questions about their past, he never actually answers the question. He just says, "Oh, you're testing me. What happened to your accent?" So it's interesting.
Yeah. And it could be that as the unofficial like devil of the Marvel universe, right? Mephisto would probably be aware of the multiverse. So he could just be like, I'll just put myself as Quicksilver on this earth, but to F with Wanda, he'll cast himself differently.
Yeah.
So it could be anything. Like
we could, and that's the what's special about this show. They're really trying to bring in the multiverse. Like again, I was reading about the next Ant-Man and Wasp like film. Like that's going to be a multiverse film. They hired like a black villain, which I'm excited to see. So, it's just straight. It's been a hell of a ride. I'm curious to see how it's going to move forward, and how this is going to like spark like Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness and whatnot. Or if
So I
it's
have a question.
gonna go on other properties. What's up?
I have a question.
Go for it.
Who do you think the engineer friend is that Monica Rambeau is
That's a great
referring to
question.
in the series? Who do you think it is?
So
Who do you think it is?
here's who I hope it is. Right. So Omar, I see you thinking. So
Oh,
Monica,
I have an idea.
yeah, okay. So yeah, Monica Rambeau's been like
Uh,
touting this engineer friend who's ready up for the task to penetrate this hexagon. I think, right? So Marvel like released like a black female Iron Man, or Iron Woman. I forgot her name. Nicholas, I'm looking to you if you remember her name. But
Oh my gosh. Her name is like Ironheart. She started
yeah,
calling herself.
Ironheart or something, right? So
That's
Hold
so
on, I'm
lame.
looking it up.
Ironheart.
yeah.
Sounds like
so-
something from Captain Planet.
Yeah, so her name is Sophia Wild.
Riri Williams. Riri Williams is her name.
Wait a minute. Uh-oh.
Guys, I have no idea.
I'm sorry, not Ironheart. This is a black girl that became the new Iron Man. So I might be thinking of somebody.
Yes.
I thought it was gonna be his wife that was gonna take the.
No, that's
Peppa Potts.
Pepper Potts. No, Gwyneth Paltrow's she's done with the MCU. Like I think she's tired of
Okay.
MCU films. But that was like rescue armor. Was that rescue? What was Pepper Potts' armor?
It was meant to be more like rescue armor, not really like
Yeah.
fighting stuff.
So yeah, no, you're right. Her name is Riri Williams.
Riri Williams. But she's too, in the comics at least, she's very young. So I don't know. You know, they might have repurposed her for the movies, obviously.
Yeah.
But she referred to the engineer as a guy.
Yeah.
So I was
That's true.
thinking.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, I
that's
thought it
true.
was female. Okay.
So for me, the obvious answer was Reed Richards, right?
Ooh.
But then I said, wait a minute. What if it is Adam Brasher? You know who Adam Brasher is?
No.
The Blue Marvel. Look him up.
The Blue Marvel.
His name is Blue Marvel. So he's also a scientist in the Marvel universe.
Oh, okay.
And he's a pretty powerful guy too. So I'm curious to see if it could be him as well. So he's a very intelligent guy, very intelligent character.
Hopefully,
So-
Marvel hasn't hit its quota on black characters yet, so we'll see starting more of
As I never heard of him, and I'm
Me
just
either.
doing some reading about him right now as you're talking about it. Apparently, he's actually whooped Captain Marvel in a duel.
Oh yeah, he's a bad dude. He's a bad dude.
Okay, I got some reading to do on this guy. Never heard of this.
I think Reed Richards might be a good one though. Seriously, that could be how.
I hope not, man. I hate the Fantastic Four. Every single one was so boring.
Well,
The only thing nice about that was Jessica Alba. That was it.
Yeah, well, you hate the Fantastic Four that was done by Fox.
No,
Right.
I hated all of them.
They
Every
were
single
all
one.
done
They've
by
all
Fox.
been done by Fox.
They're all
Oh,
done
was
by
it?
Fox.
Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all done by Fox. It's Fox's fault. You hate Fox's Fantastic Four.
What's
So
funny is
hopefully-
like the first two were bad, and then they tried to like reboot it, and that was even worse.
No, but even like their stories in the comics were just boring. I never got into them.
Some of
It
them were
was so
okay.
bland.
It was fine. I mean, they have some good Fantastic Four stories. I will say this: Fantastic Four helped introduce Black Panther.
No
So-
way.
Yes, so that you should check out Black Panther Origins on YouTube.
Okay.
So
Yep.
he
And
got in a fight
Black Panther and Storm were temporary members of the Fantastic Four for a short while too.
yeah,
Holy crap. Okay.
yeah.
I had no
Um,
idea.
So it's very possible that it could be the Fantastic Four, right? I hope it is, and I hope Marvel like does some magic and actually makes a decent Fantastic Four movie. Because-
Everything you guys have said, Blue Marvel, Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, these are all like actually on like other theories going on right now online.
yeah,
To put Blue Marvel into context as far as strength is concerned, I'm looking at marvel.fandom.com.
Mhm.
He is strong enough to push the Sentry, who is Marvel's version of Superman, to the limits of his strength and knock him into Earth's orbit with a single punch.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, they're not gonna make him that powerful, or are
So
they?
yeah, they'll
We'll see.
probably dumb him down a little bit, but yeah, that's a bad boy right there, man.
Yeah. No, that's really interesting. Yeah, it's super exciting. Can't wait to watch the next Captain Marvel. So
Yeah.
I don't know how many episodes are there totally though. I said next to watch. I can't wait to watch the next WandaVision. So that's my work phone.
Can't believe I'm saying that, right?
I thought the cops were actually doing.
Yeah, no, it's just
They're watching this podcast.
No, it's Disney. It's Disney actually.
Yes.
Disney hit me up. I was like, what?
Pete actually lives in the trap house.
Oh shit! Don't go on telling people that. You might believe that shit.
8 episodes, by the way.
8 episodes. So we got 2 left. There's also a rumor that Wanda might be the bad guy in the Doctor Strange movie. So
I mean, she has to earn that moniker, Scarlet Witch, somehow. So I mean, it's not necessarily a good thing.
Glad you mentioned that. I thought it was really funny how they all went in their traditional superhero attire.
The Vision looked like a joke, but that
So,
happened.
a little fun fact about that. So Scarlet Witch apparently argued with, Elizabeth Olsen apparently argued with like Josh Whedon about about actually wearing the attire for Scarlet Witch, and Josh Whedon said that's never gonna show in any movie or show ever. And of course, they tried to pull it off. I think it's kind of a joke towards him.
So she actually wanted to wear it. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
I'm surprised.
They want to be honest with it, and maybe she may actually wear it in the other movie. So, you never know. Question for you guys, particularly Nicholas. So, like, don't you think Scarlet Witch's power resembles the Reality Stone? Like, to like a crisp, like the way they are warping reality like that.
Holy crap! That's a great.
That's a good point, man.
Yeah.
But I don't fully get though, because her power is made by the Mind Stone. Like, is this a way for them to try to get the Infinity Stones back into the MCU? I don't know. So
yeah.
I
hope.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's
a really good point.
Yeah, I hope they don't bring the
I don't see how it could be the Reality Stone because
well,
they only had the Mind Stone. They only ever had the Mind Stone.
Exactly. It doesn't make sense. But her powers are very similar to the Reality Stone, from what I've seen, at least.
But that's what I'm saying, though. So the Mind Stone made sense in the Age of Ultron movie because she could get into your mind and mess with your thoughts or whatever.
That's true. That's true. But she can warp reality. She warped a Kevlar like vest to like a dress. So that's crazy. What do you guys think? Why do you think that these are based off of shows? Like, I think the latest one was based off of like Malcolm in the Middle. I think.
Really?
I think so. They reminded me of Malcolm in the Middle.
So I just noticed that every episode, it's like they're almost going up a decade.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I'm wondering if that she's just bringing back like with her memory with Vision, watching like old television shows and whatnot.
I thought for sure they were going to do like a Full House type deal. I really did.
Well, I think they did. Well, did they?
No, they didn't do it.
Oh yeah, you're right. They might do it. That would be hilarious if they did. Right. I mean,
I think the style that, in my opinion, that they're going with is really just like a mix, just of like popular shows from that generation, from that decade. I don't think it's anything in specific.
Yeah.
Well, the first couple of episodes were, but now I think I agree with you. It's a mishmash because the way that the most previous sitcom started reminded me of Full House a little bit, where they're like running.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the first few were. It's not just Dick Van Dyke though. It was also like I Love Lucy as well. I mean, it was it was
I Dream of
that style. I Dream of Jeannie. It was all that same style.
Yeah, Bewitched.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. God, I feel so much older now.
So yeah, I'm excited. I don't know if you guys have any final thoughts. Anything else you want to say about the WandaVision?
For anybody who's watching, I strongly suggest you go to, I think his name is Comic Storian. He does video synopses on different storylines. He has a video on the House of M. If you want to get an understanding of that plot and what happened, this is obviously based on it in some ways, but I think obviously they're changing some things to fit the movie storylines or whatever. But I watched it not too long ago, and they did a pretty good job.
Yeah. What was it called again?
House of M.
No, I'm talking about the where to go to get.
Comic Storian.
Comic Storian. I might watch that tonight, actually.
Yeah, check that out.
All right, Omar, you got any final thoughts?
I'm glad I caved.
We are too.
You said you glad you caved, and I heard something else, and I was like, "What?"
Oh Lord! Cut.
I was like,
cut.
I was like, "What?"
This is definitely going to be on the video, but yeah,
that's weird. That's weird. Okay.
You only hear what you want to hear.
I'm glad you caved too. All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think for me, what did it to make the decision to watch it was when it was either you or Nicholas, but you had made the connection to something about I forgot that it was basically that I would have to watch this to understand the next series of the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. Now whether I like it or not, I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, that's with anything in this with Marvel.
that's true, actually. That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got quite the little machine they got going on here. So yeah, Nicholas, you want to drop us with some Black History facts?
Yeah. Drop some knowledge real quick.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Teach them. Teach everybody. Teach us, please. Before
I get started though, highly recommend everyone go watch Judas and the Black Messiah. Great movie. It's about the Black Panther Party, Fred Hampton in particular. I've been watching some of the old interviews, been reading up on the party. So great movie, and watch it, go back, do your research, learn a little something. It's good stuff. So for today's Black History fact, I want to talk about Paul Coffey. All right, and this is a man who was born in 1759 to a freed slave named Coffey Slocum, and he was the seventh of 10 children. All right, so I'm just going to go through just a couple of slides here real quick, but basically he built in his early teens, he built small ships and traded among the Massachusetts island. He was a very smart guy, so he knew about boat building, trade, and navigation from early on. And so during the Revolutionary War, his ship gets seized by Britain, and he's imprisoned for 3 months in New York. After getting out, he built another ship, became a blockade runner, delivering supplies to fight Britain in the war. So he'd sail at night or in stormy weather to avoid British ships. So once he, after all of that, he was pretty much becomes a master of the seas in his early 20s, and after the war is where he really blows up. So he starts his own business, and remember, this is the 1700s, so for a Black man to start his own business at this time is a really big deal. He starts his own business, importing and exporting goods using the ships that he personally built, and all of his ships also had Black crews. So he ends up building just like a mercantile empire, and his influence grew so big that he actually earned his right to vote decades before slaves were even freed by the Emancipation Proclamation.
Wow.
He also taught himself to read and write because he wanted his children to learn as well. So because at the time, no school would take Black kids, he created his own school and hired a teacher. Then he invited his neighbor's white children to his school. So his was the first integrated school. On his way back from a trip to Sierra Leone, Africa in 1812, he found that his country, the United States, was in a war with Britain and that one of his ships were impounded. He went to Washington, knocked on the president's door, demanded his ship back, and actually had it in 6 days. So when you think of the time period here for a Black man to have that level of influence.
Right.
Can you repeat that one more time? You said he had his ship impounded during the war of 1812, knocked on the president's door?
Yes. Demanded his ship back and had it back in 6 days.
Wow.
That's insane. Can you repeat his name one more time?
Paul Coffey. I'm not done.
Okay.
Can you continue?
So he also, before he died, he also used his ships to transport escaped and freed slaves back to Africa, where he helped them settle in Sierra Leone. And then he peacefully died in 1817. So this is a guy who had a very full and active life. And, you know, I know that for a time we were seeing like a lot of movies, you know, based on slavery and this and that. I'm glad to see Judas and the Black Messiah. But again, that's based on somebody who ended up getting assassinated, even though, you know, he is a hero of the civil rights movement. But I'd like to see a movie or some sort of series or something on figures like this, who came up during this time period, did something extraordinary, and lived to leave a legacy, a positive legacy, right? Yeah. So his name is Paul Coffey. Look him up, check him out. Best days.
I am definitely reading more about him. They did not teach him during when I was going to school.
Absolutely not.
Definitely not. That is absolutely amazing. That's a great story. Thank you for dropping that knowledge.
So
I'll be reading much more on that.
I have an idea actually for our next topic, right? Especially before we, you know, next week is the last week of February, Black History Month. So if you guys recall me talking about the story of Yasuke, the first non-Japanese samurai in history was an African, a native African. And he was there as not really a slave, but as a Jesuit, I guess you could say like helper, like on the ships. So the Jesuits didn't refer to them as slaves. It was I forgot what they referred to them as, but I definitely want to talk about that. I can give like a high level overview of his story. It's very, so actually Chadwick Boseman was supposed to play, I don't know if he finished the filming, or I guess it was an animated series based on his story on Yasuke. So I think he was just going to do like the voiceovers and stuff, but this is a golden opportunity for Hollywood to make a movie out of such an incredible story. It's very much like The Last Samurai, like the movie, except instead with an African man, and it's a true story. So I think that'll be a great topic to get into next week.
Actually, no, that's a great idea. We can all come in with our own like Black history topics that we want to discuss.
Sweet.
Like we just have to figure out a time to get this done. So as you said, it is next week is the last week of Black History Month. But yeah, no, thank you for that, Omar. Nicholas, thank you for that information. That's truly amazing. It makes me go back and think, why are there no movies made about him? And when you think about movies made about Black people during that time, during slavery, it's not about like empowerment, right?
Except for Django.
Huh?
I said except for Django. I was just talking about somebody earlier to a friend earlier today, right? Like, we were talking about slave movies. I was like, this is literally the only one that I could watch more than once.
Yeah, well, so Django, that's revisionist history, right? So I love Django. Like Django got me through like 2020. Particularly the last 20 minutes when he goes and shoots everybody. So that's my favorite part of the movie.
Man.
Django blowing people up, shooting everybody, taking this girl, like have this. So,
Oh man.
but yeah, but I think of like movies like 12 Years a Slave, right? Pretty good movie, but like really just kind of showing black people in such like a very just submissive, struggleistic manner. Like talking about movies like making movies like Yasuke and about Paul Coffey, like I think I would love to hear about and see more about. So yeah, let's see what they do with that. Okay. Got any final thoughts, anyone?
Good to
Nope.
go.
Good to
Good
go.
to go.
Yep.
That's
Exactly.
shocking. That was quick. Okay. We're on schedule today. All right, y'all. So I think that's the end of our podcast. Thank you guys for joining. I'm Sahi. That's Omar, Nicholas. Catch
You
us
mean
next.
Zoom user?
Huh?
I said
Yeah,
you mean
Zoom
Zoom user.
Anonymous.